Hello and welcome to Scott's Garage. If you could look at this photo of the dash, this is the warning lights on the dashboard of the Yaris, our 2007 Toyota Yaris, and it says that it needs maintenance. So I think this sounds like a perfect job for Scott's Garage. Let's get started. All right, so the goal for today is to change the oil, rotate the tires, and check everything over. See if anything needs attention. And that's pretty much it. So first step, jack up your car. Come on! Come on! Now this is always kind of a race against time. I don't know if you can hear it, but the jack is old and it kind of goes, ugh, 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 every now and then. And I couldn't find this thingy McJagger, but I did. So now I can properly jack with the best of them. Okay, release the hounds. Oof, oofa. That sounded a little weird there. Come on now. Let go. Okay. So now we have the car somewhat leveled. Oops, sorry. Somewhat leveled. And let's drain the oil. And while that's draining, we will rotate the tires. Okay. Okay, now I can never remember whether this is a 14 or a 15. I never knew working on your car was such physically demanding. This is freaking crazy, man. I'm winded. So, what do you say? What do you guys think? 14? 15? Come on, everybody's screaming. It's a 14! What? I'm going to say 14. That's 13. No. 14. No, it's not a 14. It's a small car. Seems like it should be the smaller one, right? Hey, it is. It's the smaller one. Small car, small bolt. Right? A wobbly dobbly doo bop, but up bam boom. Okay. All right. All right. So let's rotate these tires. I think front to rear, and I was able to find the wheel lock. Remarkable. Move this one to the front and that one to the back. Whoa, shouldn't have done that. Okay, so one of the things that I do is look at the tires, make sure that they're wearing okay, and check for any nails or any cuts, blemishes, anything wrong, anything that looks weird. These look great. And then check the tire pressure, because that will always tell you if there's a problem. If it's a few pounds low, you're probably all right. If it's 10 or 15 pounds low, then you may have a problem. Checking that gasket. That looks pretty good. I am really winded from pumping up those tires of the bike pump. I had to put 40 pumps in each one. They were like 25 psi. And that's not enough. There should be more psis than that. Lots of psis. So 40, no math wizard, but it's like hundreds. All right, so we tighten that up. Let's move this over. And then use my, so you have to use really precision tools when you work on a car. So this is my most precise tool that I own. The giant mega size. Doesn't look too bad. All right, so let's move on to the bench. And you're not supposed to see this. This is a project to come that I think you're really going to like. But I don't want to get sidetracked. Okay, so we're using the Castrol Edgy. It has these oily things that go in between these metally things. And it's carbon neutral. So I don't know how oil is carbon neutral. Huh. Oh well. Sounds good. And we have exactly 4 quarts, which is what we need for this little car. And we're using the worst oil filter known to man, Fram, just because they're super cheap. And then I have my thing of molybdenum. I have had this for probably 40 years. Seriously. Back in my formative teenage years, I think I bought this. And I just never use it up. But maybe someday. Or they can put it in my casket. With me and my casket. So let's go install this fine piece of equipment. All right, so we'll just crank this thing up on there. And we will get it as tight as we can with one hand. That's the rule. All right. And then just so it doesn't leak, I'm going to wipe some of this oil around it so we don't get something in the driveway and think, oh my God, I did something wrong. All right, so then what I like to do is take a look around. Look around. Boy, these glasses are really dirty. And I love my Makita flashlight. It is so cool. Boy, these brake lines look pretty old, but they're still flexible. Doesn't look like the shocks are leaking. It looks like this driving shaft where all the power, where that raw power gets translated into forward motion. Looks pretty good. Let's put this over here. And we can turn this, I think. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. So that, and as you can see in here, there's lots of pad left. Rotor looks fine. Back here, CV boots and joints look fine. And let's turn it the other way. Let's have us going. Let's have us looking like this. And have to be careful because that apparently gets put on. So if we look in here, we can see the pad thickness on this side. So those things are like, see that gap in there? When it gets to the bottom of that gap, that's when they're worn. So these things are like 80-90%. So it's such a light car, it doesn't really use the brakes that much. So anyway, let's check the other side and then we'll go to the back. All right, so I let off the emergency brake. I was smart enough to do that. And I don't think these just come off. I don't know. Oh. And I guess what I'll try to do is just see if I feel like I'm moving something. Maybe smaller screwdriver. All right, let's go ahead and put in 4 quarts of Castrol's Finest. And looking over, it looks like we need some windshield washer fluid. And the radiator was not completely full. So I'm going to check the overflow bottle and see if maybe that's full, or sometimes they're just down a little bit and it's not a concern. Batteries from December of 2019. So this December, that'll be 4 years old. So yeah, 3 to 5 usually what you get out of them. I know I changed the air filter at 200,000. So, all right, we can take out this funnel. And then we're going to put some washer fluid in. Checking the belt. Looks pretty good. The belt is just one. That's all it needs. Looks good. Can't really see there. But that's it. I don't see anything else. Gonna need a battery probably the next year. But that's about it. So continuing on, the rest of the car is pretty much done. The oil change, rotated the tires, tire pressure, even checked all the lights and everything, and that seems fine. Front brakes are fine. Everything seems cool, although yesterday I started working on these brakes and I couldn't get them off. I couldn't get the drum off. And so there's a little window back here that you can stick a screwdriver in and try to crank the little star wheel there. And I just couldn't do that. And so I looked on the internet and you put a couple of bolts in here and it pulls this off, but it was catching on the shoes because there's a big lip in here. And I just couldn't back it off enough and I couldn't get it around, and I basically like pulled the shoes and everything right off of here and bent that adjuster. It was not good. And so anyway, I need a new adjuster. So I went ahead and ordered a bunch of parts, and to turn those drums is about $25 at my local shop. I can buy them brand new for like $23, so that's what I did. I went ahead and bought 2 new drums, set of brake shoes. The brake shoes were pretty worn out, and even one of them was kind of crumbling away a little bit. So they kind of needed to be replaced. Drums obviously needed to be turned, and who knows if they could even be turned that much. They might, run out of size. Incredibly inexpensive, and a whole kit with all the springs and the shoes. So I've got all that. It's going to be here in a few days, and so this is just going to sit here until I get all the parts. And not much more we can do. Until then, next time on Yaris Maintenance Repair Video. So Amazon came through with all the parts, so we've got everything that we need to complete this job. So in doing this job, it's been a long time since I've done drum brakes, and it really showed. I forgot all of the little tricks that you use, like using needle nose pliers to put those on. I was trying to just put them on by hand and pulling the springs with just a pair of pliers and not some, needle nose vice grips. And I think I made every mistake in the world. You watch the videos on YouTube of how to do this, and they do it in like 5 minutes. You're just like, "Do-do-do-do-do-do." And I spent hours doing this. I put everything on backwards that can be put on backwards and had to take it off and redo it. So, for you folks that maybe struggle a little bit and you think, why does everybody else just does it no problem and it's really easy? Well, it's not. it's I really struggled with this thing. Um, I took some pictures before I took it apart. The pictures weren't very good, and there weren't enough of them. I didn't take enough detail of how they came apart. And if I had to do over again, I would have taken pictures of both sides, because if I have pictures of the right and then I'm trying to do the left, it's a complete mirror, and I'm getting all backed up with, mixed up with everything, how everything goes, and I've got it all backwards, and I'm just like getting really frustrated. There were several times when some expletives were uttered in the garage here. It just doesn't want to really hold it. It wants to like walk down like that, which doesn't really sound good. The parking brake really isn't working at all. It it just go. You pull the parking brake, comes completely up. I don't think the rear brakes are really working at all. I don't see. I can see they're just hitting here and here. So I'm just having all kinds of problems with this, and I guess I don't really know what I'm doing. It sort of reminds me of the story when I had a water heater replaced, and I called the plumber, and the plumber was replacing the water heater, and he kept going on and on about the last guy that put in this water heater didn't know what he was doing, and we did this wrong and that wrong and this wrong and that wrong, and the last guy was me. And I realized, wow, water heater, there's some things to it. It's not just a. So there's some things to this. These aren't the easiest things in the world to do. And yeah, it seemed easy on all of the videos, but I don't know. I'm just having a hard time with it. So I think my strategy is I'm going to try to move this spring around. I wanted. Okay, so in the video, they were putting it on like this. So if I was to grab this and put that there, and then that goes up like that. Okay, cool. So that's better. And try to work that star wheel a little bit. So I think it goes this way. No, other way. I think it goes like this. Doesn't really seem like it wants to turn either way. It's supposed to just nicely click. Wow. That just does not want to turn at all. Huh. Because I would think if this kicks out, it would go like this, and it would push the back down and the front should go up. Wow. Let's take that out of there, I guess. We got to take it out and figure out what's wrong with it. All right, hey, okay. That worked. So then we take that out and take this Out of here. Come on. This whole thing. Oy. This is kind of how it's been going. Yeah. And then why doesn't this turn? Why is this so freaking tight? Okay, so to expand, see, that doesn't make any sense at all. Really, no. But it looks to me like it has to push it this way. Do I have the wrong? Oh, yeah. So the little teeth, so I think it goes up like this and makes it bigger. But that's going to get it smaller. Do I have these on backwards? So do you remember a few minutes ago me saying about how everything I put on that could be put on backwards, I put on backwards? Well, apparently I put this on backwards. I really tried. It came at two separate packages, a right and a left, and I tried to get the right adjuster and the right spring, and I thought I did, but somehow I didn't. I actually went and dug the old adjusters out of the trash and found that the green right one, when you go like this, it gets bigger, so it expands, so that little tang goes like this because it looks like it would hit this and it would go click, click, click like that and make things bigger. And the way I had it was the opposite. And I don't know how I did that, but I don't know. Dude back here. Ugh. Come on, man. Can we just have like one part that just goes together? And then it falls back into this groove and it gets like locked in there. And then you got to pull it back out. And now this piece isn't in again. So then you pull this out and then it gets locked back in there. And then you pull this up and then that gets locked in there. And then this spring gets caught in there. It's just a freaking nightmare, man. Brake jobs are the worst. Why would anybody ever invent drum brakes? Guess they seem like a good idea at the time, right? But that in there? Why do we have to have brakes at all? Just have the Tesla with. Almost got my knuckle there. All right, so that goes down here. We got this in the back. Adjuster looks happy, I think. This is on the right way. This is looking good. That looks all right. This is kind of in the middle. That's down. We put this other spring on the bottom where it's supposed to go. To hold that there. And then, if I did it correctly, as that little thing goes down, it should click. All right. And that should get bigger. because what I noticed was that because I went for a test drive, and when I took these off, did you notice that it was really tight? Both of them were tight on each side, because that adjuster was going the wrong way and it was tightening it against here all the way small. And it was trying to adjust it, but it was turning it the wrong way because I did it wrong. And now it can go doot, 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 and it expands out nicely. And we can put the drum on, kind of something like this. I don't know. And adjust it some more. Then I think what I'm going to do is go in and push the brakes on and kind of try to get the shoes to center, and then I'm going to tighten them up some more. Okay, so I just tested the brakes. They have a nice pedal feel, and the emergency brake works great. Oh, wow. I think that might be adjusted perfectly. It just drags slightly, but I have a good pedal. All right. I think I got that. I think that feels pretty good. Let's put the tires on and go for a test drive. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. These are the old ones. Green on the left, yellow on the right, I think. And these are the adjusters, so if I screw it in like that, it goes in normally and gets smaller. So this thing would have to go and to make it bigger, 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 bigger. The battery that was in here was 4 years old, and it had like this weird spacer, and it still wasn't very tight. It was moving all over the place. So I called AAA. They came out, and he told me that the battery that was in here was the wrong size. And so this was the correct size battery. It fit in there really nicely. It's really tight. I painted all of these, got all the corrosion off, and it fits in there really nicely. But then I was like complaining to him, said, but how am I supposed to get to the master cylinder back here to fill this up? And he goes, well, the Toyotas, they have a little thing right here. Kind of pop it off. You go like that, and then you can just boop, put it right in there. So I am waiting for a new bottle from Amazon of .3. That's translation brake fluid, to kind of fill that up. It's not really that low, but to make sure that's topped off. And I thought that was a really cool trick. I think the guy, he was really a neat guy, and he was able to. All right, so the pedal feels great. Emergency brake works really good. On to arrive, then I can top off the brake fluid and finish up under there. But that was a learning experience. I swear that I kept those kits, because the two kits of all the springs and the adjuster and everything, they come in two separate bags, a left and a right. They're marked left and a right. And I swear that I put them aside, and either they're in the wrong bag, which probably not. I probably mixed them up. But I don't know how I did that. And that caused a lot of consternation. But at least now I know how the brakes are supposed to go. All the springs are going the right direction. Everything is on there correctly. Looks like the wheel cylinders are fine, and I think that should work pretty good. So, yeah, this was a tough job. It's not a tough job, I think, for a mechanic or somebody that knows what they're doing, but for me, this was a challenge. So, anyway, thank you for watching Scott's Garage, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.